Welcome to Read the Bible with me. I'm Stan Jr. and today we're looking at chapter 15 of the book of 1 Kings. So if you're new here, go ahead and click subscribe to this channel and turn on your notification bell. And if you are a Bible Club member, first, thank you so much for supporting this ministry with $10 a month. Through my Patreon account, I cannot do what I do, which is send Bibles and missionaries on the mission field every single month through a partnership with Voices of Martyrs. So I'm thankful. I can't do that without your support, and I'm grateful for you all. Thank you for supporting. Really, it really means a lot, and we can really do a lot with you guys supporting. So thank you. If you're a Bible Club member, click like on this video and leave a comment below so I know that you're here. All right, so chapter 15 of 1 Kings. Let's read. It says, Now in the 18th year of King Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, Abijam began to reign over Judah. He reigned for 3 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Maacah, the daughter of Abishalom, and he walked in all the sins. See, not in all the ways of God, but in all the sins that his father did before him. And his heart was not wholly true to the Lord his God, as the heart of David his father. Nevertheless, for David's sake, the Lord his God gave him a lamp in Jerusalem, setting up his son after him and establishing Jerusalem. Because David did what was right in the eyes of the Lord and did not turn aside from anything that he commanded him all the days of his life, except in the matter of Uriah the Hittite. So it does, it does say, well, except in that matter. Now there was war between Rehoboam and Jeroboam all the days of his life. The rest of the acts of Abijam and all that he did, are they not written in the book of Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And there was war between Abijam and Jeroboam. And Abijam slept with his fathers, and they buried him in the city of David. And Asa, his son, reigned in his place. In the 20th year of Jeroboam, king of Israel, Asa began to reign over Judah, and he reigned 41 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Maacah, the daughter of Abishalom. And Asa did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, as David his father had done. He put away the male colt prostitutes out of the land and removed all the idols that his father had made. He also removed Maacah, his mother, from being queen mother, because she had made an abominable image of Asherah. And Asa cut down her image and buried it in the brooks of Kidron. But the high places were not taken away. Nevertheless, the heart of Asa was wholly true to the Lord all his days. And he brought into the house of the Lord the sacred gifts of his father, and his own sacred gifts, silver and gold and vessels. And there was war between Asa and Baasha, king of Israel, all their days. Baasha, king of Israel, went up against Judah and built Ramah, that he might permit no one to go out or come in to Asa, king of Judah. Then Asa took all the silver and the gold that were left in the treasuries of the house of the Lord and the treasuries of the king's house, and gave them into the hands of his servants. And King Asa sent them to Benhadad, the son of Tabrimmon, the son of Hezion, king of Syria, who lived in Damascus, saying, Let there be a covenant between me and you, as there was between my father and your father. Behold, I am sending to you a present of silver and gold. Go, break your covenant with Baasha, king of Israel, that he may withdraw from me. And Benhadad listened to King Asa and sent out the commanders of his armies against the cities of Israel and conquered Ijon, Dan, Abel-Beth, Maacah, and all Chinneroth, with all the land of Naphtali. And when Baasha heard of it, he stopped building Ramah, and he lived in Tisra. Then King Asa made a proclamation to all Judah. None was exempt. And they carried away the stones of Ramah and its timber with Baasha had been building, and with them King Asa built Gibeah of Benjamin and Mizpah. Now the rest of all the acts of Asa, all his might, and all that he did, and the cities that he built, Are they not written in the book of Chronicles, the kings of Judah? But in his old age he was diseased in his feet. And Asa slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in the city of David his father, and Jehoshaphat his son reigned in his place. Nadab, the son of Jeroboam, began to reign over Israel in the second year of Asa, king of Judah, and he reigned over Israel 2 years. He did what was evil in the sight of the Lord, and walked in the way of his father, and in his sin which he made Israel to sin. Baasha, the king of Ahijah, of the house of Issachar, conspired against him, and Baasha struck him down at Gibbethon, which belonged to the Philistines, for Nadab and all Israel were laying siege to Gibbethon. So Israel were laying siege to Gibbethon. So Baasha killed him in the third year of Asa, king of Judah, and reigned in his place. And as soon as he was king, he killed all the house of Jeroboam. He left to the house of Jeroboam not one that breathed, until he had destroyed it, according to the word of the Lord that it was spoken by the servant Ahijah the Shilonite. It was for the sins of Jeroboam that he sinned, and that he made Israel to sin, and because of the anger to which he provoked the Lord, the God of Israel. Now the rest of the acts of Nadab and all that he did, are not they written in the book of Chronicles, the kings of Israel? And there was war between Asa and Baasha, king of Israel, all their days. In the third year of Asa, king of Judah, Baasha, the son of Ahijah, began to reign over all Israel at Tisra, and he reigned 24 years. He did what was evil in the sight of the Lord, and walked in the way of Jeroboam, and in his sin which he made Israel to sin. And this is a story of just back and forth, right? Different kingdoms, back and forth. People doing what's right in the Lord's eyes, people not doing what's right in the Lord's eyes. People doing, and this could be you could look at this as looking at a war going back and forth, even in your own life. There was a war of resisting the flesh, right, and succumbing to it. And so we got to stay in the battle. We've got to put on the whole armor of God, so we can fight against the wiles of the devil, so we can gird up ourselves for war. Remember, we're not, we are the bride of Christ as the church, but there's some churches that already got their wedding attire on, and they're sitting there at the altar just waiting for the Lord, sitting in church, just waiting for the Lord. No, we've got to put on the armor of God, have our wedding attire ironed, be watchful, have it all ready to go, so we can take it off and slip it on when the Lord is ready for us. But don't you want to be found, if the Lord is calling, don't you want to be found on the battlefield for the Lord? And He's got to call you off of the battlefield and say, all right, it's time to go. You don't have to fight anymore. That's what we want. So we have to make war to the end. And this is just a sign of there's war going back and forth with these countries. And we can see that in our own country, all right? So let's thank God for chapter 15 of the book of 1 Kings. Thank you for reading with me today, and I pray that it was a blessing to you. Next time I read with you, we'll be reading chapter 16. If you'd like to become a Bible Club member, please join the club using the link in the description, or you can comment below and I'll help you do it through that way. I'll assist you somehow, okay? So do that if you'd like, and chapter 16 we'll be reading next. All right, God bless you. Peace.